Hey, Amy Mueller here. I learned something today I thought was interesting I wanted to share. I heard about a study they did of Olympic medalists, so the gold, silver, and bronze medalists they wanted to gauge what their level of happiness was in relation to the medal that they won. And it's not surprising to learn that the gold medalists were at the highest happiness level when they did this study. But what was interesting is that the silver medalist actually was less happy than the bronze medalist. And the reason being is because it was all based on how they were comparing themselves. Like the silver medalist was thinking, oh, I'm the first loser, right? Like I almost had the gold and I didn't get it. Whereas the bronze medalist was thinking, oh, I almost didn't even get a medal, but I got one, right? So they actually were registering as higher in the happiness level than the silver. It's very interesting, but what it made me think of was that so often, and even in my studies and my travels and listening to other speakers and reading and all this stuff, I'm hearing over and over again that happiness is a choice. And so whenever I'm feeling a way I don't want to feel, not very happy, then I remind myself happiness is a choice. I've learned that from successful people. So I just need to choose to be happy. And so I say, I choose to be happy, except that doesn't really solve the problem for me. It might be different for other people. For me, that doesn't make me feel any better. So then, of course, I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm supposed to be able to just choose to be happy like all these other successful people, and yet I'm not changing my emotion in that moment. So here's what I think, and this could help you too. This is why I'm shooting this video. Emotions, I believe, are not something we really control at all. Sometimes they just happen, right? We have to deal with them. But I do believe that we control our thoughts when we choose to, consciously choose our thoughts. And I also believe that our thoughts are what lead to our emotions, and that's, of course, what leads to how we feel. And so, in a sense, yes, we choose happiness because we can control our thought or choose our thought, which leads to the emotion, which makes us feel better. But it's not like an instant step to, I just choose to be happy. So instead, just to give you an example, there was a time where I was really in an emotional state, and like people were trying to hug me because they could tell, or they were in the situation with me, so they knew. And I couldn't let them touch me because if anybody hugged me, I was just going to lose it. So I'm like, no, don't touch me. I'm going to lose it if you touch me. So I had to think about how to get myself out of this state in that moment because it was not a emotional state that was going to be serving me what I was doing at that moment. So instead, I thought of comedians because I love stand-up comedy. And so what I did was I just started playing in my head over and over again different bits I had seen comedians do that made me laugh. And it actually did make me feel a lot better in that moment, and my emotions calmed down and I was no longer on the brink of tears. So again, how that relates to you is just, if you're ever feeling a way that you don't want to feel, just try changing the thought. It's almost like changing the radio station, right? Or hitting next to the next song on your iTunes or whatever songs you listen to. But the point is, you can change the way you feel, but first you have to change what you're focused on. So if you're in a moment where you don't feel great, then maybe think of something that makes you grateful. Think of something that you did in the past that you're proud of. Think of something that makes you laugh like I did, or something that makes you feel good. Even if it's as simple as like a YouTube video you think is funny, that's fine. Anything that puts you in a better state where the thoughts are different, makes you feel better, the happiness will follow. If you do that consistently, you will get that awesome life that you're searching for.